second. Yeah, I always want to record just in case there's something good that comes out of this. So the design process is part of design build. First thing we do, Julie, is we just separate out into two separate agreements, which sounds like, oh wait, you're not doing design build, but we are. So a separate design agreement, separate build agreement. We create a bit of, it's a bit of a marketing shtick because we have yet to give this credit because but what we tell them is like, hey, this design agreement is a retainer, and we bill that time at 150, 200 an hour, whatever hourly rate works for you. And just like, any other professional services firm. And the thing is, if you as the client are able to be timely with your responses and don't go back and change what you've already approved, there's usually overage in this agreement. And then if you select us for the build, we credit that to your build contract. And so everyone's like, oh, and the way we further sell that, I always want to start at the top and then work our way down in terms of the client journey. So the way we sell that to them is like, hey, yeah, I don't know about you, but we do a lot of additions, tons of additions, and a lot of structural kitchens, blowing out a wall. In other words, there's an engineer or an architect stamp needed. And so we tell them like, hey, you're going to need, rather than going to an architect and they're going to bill you like a lawyer at 300, 400 an hour, and then they're going to turn around and use the same draftspeople we use. So you're going to get the same product, just less. And instead of the architect who, I mean, I don't want to rain on their parade, but they don't know how to build. And so it's like the person that's actually building is the one that's giving you the running price total throughout the process. What ends up happening with people that separate out the architect from the contractor is, on paper, it looks great because they have opposing interests. But in reality, it sucks because now the architect is just drawing whatever makes you happy, Mr. Homeowner, and telling you what you want to hear. Inevitably, what happens is the contractor's coming in bid and it's over budget. And so guess what? Now you got to pay that architect to redraw.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And so then the homeowner's like, that's exactly their reaction. Like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So that's how we sell it. The way the design process goes, I mean, stop me at any time, but
what about if, so my remodels are slightly more cosmetic. I'm not blowing out walls. I'm not taking walls down almost most of the time, and I'm not doing additions. It's all kitchen based, more cosmetic, but we're doing new countertops, new flooring, cabinet modifications, new cabinet build. That's where I'm at right now. So we don't really need the architect stamp or anything like that. And that's where I'm,
so then
on the line,
Yeah. So at that point, what you're doing is you're selling against basically interior decorators. Like the thing is, the homeowner doesn't know what we know. They don't understand that when you call yourself an interior designer, that means that you design cabinetry and you can create, construction plans, right? Drafting and design. They don't understand that. And so what they end up doing is hiring an Instagram influencer who's great at picking out colors, but doesn't understand how to create plans.
Right.
Right. So we sell against that person. We're like, hey, you're literally wasting your money there. By the way, like, I am that person, except I own a construction company.
Right.
Right.
And I know how to put it together. So yeah.
Right. So that and the thing is, you want to be a little bit flippant, be like, hey, that interior decorator is going to charge you 200 an hour. You'll get a great concept, but the thing is that contractor can't bid off that. We can't take that concept to the city and get a permit. It's not possible. So yeah, this is why you want to work with somebody like me.
Got it. Same thing as the architect, basically, just little change of words there.
Little nuance. I love that. And so then from there, what we do is we break our process into three phases. So we call them existing conditions. Some people call them as-built, but really just existing conditions and elevations. And then from there, 2 or 3 conceptual designs, in terms of the style they want to go in. And then from there, they approve, and we give them, I call it the 50% accurate running estimate. And And usually they ask, and so that phase actually is really two parts. So phase one has, part one is the measure meeting. And at the end of the measure meeting, a couple days later, we meet to present the 50% accurate number. And the reason why we do it this way is this is the final gut check for them to cancel the agreement with us. We'll go ahead and refund the entire design agreement fee that they paid and send them on their way. And the reason why we do that is so that, because again, these homeowners, their eyes are bigger than their checkbook. Right. And so the last thing we want to do is eat up, 3/4 of their design retainer, only to find out that they can't afford the build no matter what we do. And then they're pissed off, we're pissed off, everybody's pissed off.
Right. Okay.
And so then in part B, so after they approve, they're like, yeah, this is kind of within my budget, or no, on second thought, can we gear this more down towards X, right? And so then we have that conversation. If it's feasible, the next step is we provide them 2 or 3 conceptual drawings, renderings, whatever you want to call it, of what we're thinking in our mind based on what they've shared with us and what they like. And so we pair that with the 50%. And so then at that point, they choose, okay, that's what I want. And then we close out phase one. We sign a memorandum of understanding. They chose X. They recognize the budget range is between X and Y. They can afford it, whether it's Y or X, right? It's like, tell me now if the ceiling is still too high. That way with grace, we're able to figure out how much money they really got.
Got it. So slowly sneaking down to that.
It's like a funnel, right? So then we enter in phase two, where the end product is the design drawings, which is the 2D plans that we could actually go get a permit off of. And a contractor can accurately bid from, right? Mm-hmm. What we don't have is the selections on the finishes, and so then at that point we provide them the 80% accurate numbers, and so then we redline and have our budget discussion. And this is also where we issue them their allowances on the finishes in order to meet their budget, right? And so then, the red line's done, they sign off, memorandum of understanding, just reiterating everything over and over. Again, like, background is law and finance, so I'm constantly like trying to paint people into a corner. So then in phase three, this is the part everyone thinks is what designers do, which is a big part of it. And that's, hey, let's go do our selections. So,
okay.
So what we like to do is a little pro tip. We like to have a professional, or I'm sorry, a single relationship with one design gallery. And that really handles 80 to 90% of what we could conceivably want to do. Mm-hmm. And we negotiate wholesale pricing, but we have them send us two invoices, basically retail, which is what gets passed to the consumer, and then we pay off the wholesale.
Got it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So then at that point is 1 or 2 rounds of red lines, because at that point this is where they realize that, holy crap, this is about to become real. So you get a lot of wishy-washy in terms of the actual selections piece. But once that's done, then we give them 100% firm fixed price on the contract, and at that point they have a choice. They either A, move forward with us on the build, or B, we allow them to own the plans, go talk to somebody else, go ahead, go shop it around. Mm-hmm. But what we do is we tell them that, hey, this build price is locked in for 10 business days. Good luck getting a contractor to turn around a price in 10 business days.
Right. Oh, right? I like that, 10 days.
And it also gives us, last look, like, because, and so what ends up happening there to get the contract closed is really three offers, right? So the first offer is at, full GP, 45% gross profit. And then the second offer is usually it's 42, maybe 40 for us, 40% gross profit, whatever. It's still a discount. But the thing is, to give a discount without a reason and an ask completely obliterates your price integrity. So our ask is, hey, here's the deal. We like to keep a case study going every quarter. If you would allow us to interview you on video once a month and weekly to publish pictures of the project along with an explanation of what we're doing, yeah, we could give you this price. Like, we really need to fill this slot. Some people value their privacy, I understand. And so usually they'll say, yeah. If they don't, then we figure out what's our bottom line we can do this for and still protect our net margin. And so then the last time we come at them with that bottom line price, we're like, hey, here's the deal. Like, can't go any lower, like cannot go any lower than this. And this is happening during that 2-week that 2-week process when they're out talking to other contractors, if it comes down to this. And so then it's our bottom line number, and we tell them, like, look, I can give you this special rate, but you have to schedule your build for an X start date. Like, we have a hole in the schedule. This helps out us both. And usually it's a time that they don't want to do towards the end of Q3,
Right.
middle of Q4. And so what I'm trying to get at is expectations of leads. 1 in 3 of our appointments will close a design agreement, and then 90% of our design agreements actually get billed. So we only lose 1 in 10 during this process. Pretty sweet. Yeah.
It follows about the same thing I do, but you've got some different perks and a few different things that I don't do in there, but I do follow somewhat of the same process. So
yes, ma'am.
I'm just trying to get myself out of doing the design part. And I like how I'm not a designer, but they think I'm the designer. So I like how you're handing that off to showroom, perhaps. That's where I need to not be so hands-on picking out tile and colors and all that. I'm good at it, but it's eating up my time.
That's a $50,000 a year employee's job. And because you're doing cosmetic kitchens, like we have a 1099. So we have an in-house design team and a 1099 team. Our 1099 personnel handle our cosmetic remodels, and we've got that person negotiated flat rate for a kitchen, design, drawings, and selections, $2,500. And right. And so it's like, it's a matter of kissing a bunch of frogs to find that prince or princess. But what I'm trying to get at is our kitchen, even our most basic kitchens start at 140. They're right between 140, 170. I don't know where you guys are at. But even if your line is your lowest, you'll go as 80. The key is how you price that design agreement. So we price that design agreement at 8% of the high end of the range when we give them first numbers. And so on that $100,000 kitchen, that $80,000 to $100,000 kitchen, we're asking for an $8,000 retainer. We know we're paying the design people $3,000 to do that set. Even if for whatever reason we have to get an engineer stamp for something weird, that's going to cost us $1,500. So we know there's $4,500 of gross profit built into that contract. And so it's just a matter of working with the designer we got to stay on top of our administration and make sure we're billing 40 design hours to hit at 200 an hour to hit that 8,000 number.
Are you presenting the design in person, or is that, because I do have a design person I like remote, and I feel that she can give me the drawings, she can get my selections and give me all the material, and then I can go spend an hour or two presenting to the clients, and then I'm still the designer and the contractor.
Yes. We always, whenever we're talking numbers or anything design, always in person.
Okay. So I
Yeah.
would still do that presentation, but I
Yep.
just have all the work handed to me. I'll
Yep.
review it and go ahead and.
That's right. That's right. I love
Okay.
that. Great idea.
It worked really well. I have sold almost every design package, but my design package are not priced at what you're pricing them at. I'm way too low. So I'm gonna have to definitely increase that.
yeah, definitely increase it. What you'll find is the quality of your client, like your closing percentage is going to shrink dramatically, but your
Mhm.
quality of client's going to skyrocket.
Yes, yeah, I can see that. I close almost all of them with the design, but I think exactly what you're saying. I'll just get better quality clients with that.
That's right. Less time spent messing around.
Yeah. There's the design agreement. Then you go into the construction agreement, two different agreements.
That's right.
Can you tell me about the negotiations? Because I never change my price. I feel so strongly about that. I
Yeah.
feel like if I give my price, it's the best price I can give.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more of when you offer that second price and
Yeah.
maybe the third price.
So essentially what we'll do is we'll wait until that 2 weeks is expired, and then
Mhm.
that is if they don't lay down and sign right away. And so if they want to go shop around, that's cool. And 2 weeks later, we'll reach out, and if they're not ready to move forward, we'll wait another 2 weeks. And so normally that would have been a deal you would have lost at that point.
Right.
But and again, this isn't programmed. It's only if A, it's an easy project, or B, it's a really cool client. You know, I don't want them all.
I agree. I've turned some down. We've gone through the design process and
Yes.
I have them down at the end because I don't want to work with them. So yeah, I understand what you're
And
saying.
we have a few of those. About one a month is like that. And so then in the final numbers, we just find a way to jack up the price beyond their budget and gracefully send them out to go interview contractors and never talk to us again.
Just know when it's going to be a red flag client. So
Right.
yeah.
But if this is a client you really want, and so we're it's like we're splitting hairs to get this deal done. We'll wait until about the 30-day mark, and then that's when we'll come at them with our case study ask, and and we'll discount appropriately from there. Usually it's not much.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from there, if you discount at all, I mean, but really you want to have something to give them.
Got it. Yeah. Most of mine sign very, very quickly. There isn't
Yep.
never a
Yeah.
10 day.
So out of that 9 out of 10 that sign with us, 10% we ejected, like, hey, we don't want this one. 6 out of 10, I'm sorry, 4 out of 10 sign right there. Then 2 out of 10 sign or I'm sorry, we're 2 out of 10 sign at the second stage, and then the balance sign at the bottom stage. So what I'm trying to get at is if we didn't have this step down program, our close rate from design to build would probably be about 40% instead of 90. But the thing is, out of that 50 we're going after that we're recovering, number one, it's at a profit, and two, we're choosing who we decide to recover. Right.
Okay.
And three, the ones that did sign right away, absolute home runs.
Okay, great. That all makes great sense. I like the setup and all that. So
Yes,
fantastic.
ma'am. Yeah, works out awesome.
How about design? Also, I'm going to go back to the design since those were my main questions for today.
Sure.
Was I have one right now. I mean, she cannot decide on the tile. I've given her 3 selections. We need to start electrical on Thursday. I need to demo the cabinets Wednesday, and I don't have tile. And so I want to get her all written up. Do you put an allowance in for when you get one of those tough selections? And who is that client working with? You still have a designer they're working with?
Yeah, so we won't start build until all the selections are done, because once they sign the agreement, what ends up happening is that goes back to the design team to write the spec sheet where we list out means and material for every single assembly, every single trade, in the associated associated drawings.
Okay, so you have your designer do that.
Yep. So I can't help you on this one it's already sailed, but on the future ones that process solves the problem.
Yes. So I do not do that right now. So
That's
okay.
okay. Look, yeah, the only reason why we do things the way we do it is because Ken and I are not very smart people. We just continue to get kicked in the head until we get it right.
Designer gets the scope, materials, everything written out 100%.
Yep.
I'm just trying to get the rest of my subs and my teams keeping,
Mm-hmm.
busy during the next couple of weeks, and we have a kind of a hole in the schedule.
Yep.
Everyone else is ready to go, and we can't go because tile isn't, we have a tile issue. So
And so this is totally outside process, but in your shoes, what I would do is I would call that person and ask them, hey, is this a pricing issue or is this a design issue? Because if this is okay, but I would still ask it like that, because it's like, hey, we got to start cabinetry. If you do this, yeah, it's going to create a change order. It's going to jack up that's what I would threaten them with. It's going to create a change order for me with the sub, which is then going to create a change order between me and you. So let's
move on.
What's that?
Let's get a move on. Let's make a selection here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that conversation has been in my head. I just need to have that with that client. Literally, all I'm seeing is change orders on this project. So yes.
Yeah. It's like, lady or dude, whoever, person, you're killing me.
Yeah, let's figure it out. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So that's great.
Right on. Blazing quick. What else you got on the design process?
No, that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's pretty similar to what I do. I just need to tweak mine, increase the price, get a little bit more defined.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a design contract, need to do that.
Yep.
So yeah, but it's worked really, really well for me because everyone says they hire me because I do the design part and the construction part. So that's what caught my eye about your
exactly
program. You talk about that, and I said, oh, I already do that, and that's why
you
it
do.
works.
And it's just a little bit of a spin on design build. So you get to sell it to the client like, hey, with me, you get the best of all worlds. Number one, you're saving on the design. Number two, the person that's building it's doing the design. And number three, you get the flexibility to go shop it out if the price just doesn't suit your fancy, because I just want you to be happy.
They're not making any mistakes on the design either. So that's what I sell to.
Nope.
So
and doing it this way, you can take your time in the design phase because you've already locked in gross profit on the design, right? So it allows us to, get really aggressive in terms of sales and marketing, because we're collecting profit up front we're basically getting paid to write the correct set of plans and estimate that we want to give.
Yes. So I like that. I'm definitely changing my system a little bit from what I've learned from you. So
hell yeah. I'm excited to see what happens. You're in my old market, and I would love to see you. Forgive me for saying this so aggressively, but stomp the guts out of Jericho home remodeling or home improvement.
I hear a lot of not great things, so it wasn't surprising when you told me. And I've actually worked with a few people that worked with them. Their cabinet refinishers, I think, worked on for Jericho, and but it's never positive. And I think the only reason they get a lot of work is because of that financing that they offer.
Between the financing, so they're using that like a weapon, but before that, in order to get to that point, they were charging obscenely high, which I'm all for, and the way they were getting those high prices was just inundating the market with TV and radio. Yep, and a very, very high pressure sales system, and they're specifically advertising on the time slots they were taking, the programs they were advertising on, and the radio they were advertising on. They were looking at just the solid middle class that what isn't financially sophisticated. And so then when they hit at first, they had outside financing. And so now from what I understand, they've taken that financing in house because they've made so much money. Like, it's brilliant business practice. I just wish, there was a better client experience.
Yeah, I've heard, the prices I've heard are outrageous. They're really, really high for some simple work, but I guess my prices are increasing now too, right?
Yep.
but even the quality of work and just a poor experience for the client too. So
Yep.
that's always stressful for them. But yeah, not great things is what I've heard. So
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I mean, you look in their reviews. I'm trying not to get sued here. When you look at their reviews, it's just it's out in the public record. I love it.
tip you put today on the Facebook group about the reviews. So I love that on how to get the reviews. I don't know if you remember my comment on
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
To ask at punch list or at substantial completion, ask for the honest review at that point, because that I sent out 10 links and didn't get anything back. So and they're all happy. So
yeah, and you can turn this into a sales mechanism or into another. I always try to play judo with this. At the point of sale for the contract, they're like, "Hey, I want to draw your attention to clause whatever. It's part of our agreement here. Never call it contract. Always an agreement. It's part of our agreement here that that you're going to leave us an honest review when we complete the build. So it's in my best interest to make sure you are absolutely happy before we start punch list."
oh, perfect. Okay, I like how you said that. That was perfect. You write that down.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much for all the tips.
Yes, ma'am. My pleasure. I can't wait to see what happens.
I'm working on it. I'm headed back out to Kansas City tomorrow. So.
Oh, sweet. I'll be there Friday.
Oh, I'll be gone Thursday, so I'll just miss
Dang. Alrighty. Well, Julie, have a productive week. And if you have anything else, just let me know.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate all your help. Thanks, Lane.
Thank you. Adios.